Traffic jams, smog, crowded waves and busy streets. It's just another day in another big city. And for the Turner brothers of Huntington Beach, Los Angeles, it's another day of waiting tables at their mother's beachside cafe, the Sugar Shack. The Sugar Shack is as much of an institution in Huntington as the Pier, and it's as American as apple pie, which is permanently on the menu. The cafe's walls are a living history of Huntington itself. It's sort of like a surf museum that serves coffee. Mrs. Turner has been serving locals, world champions, and traveling surfers since the Sugar Shack opened in 1967.
My mom's worked hard for something like 27 years now. My mom's just always been there to help people out, feeds all the homeless and feeds all the travelers that come around. A lot of the pro surfers and sponsors the young kids around here to help them out.
The travelers' tales around the coffee tables must have made a deep impression on the Turner brothers, who have the travel bug so bad they can barely sit still. Every cent they earn waiting tables goes towards their next adventure, which in this case is to one of the fastest, hollowest, shallowest, most isolated surf locations on the planet.
I really have to get out of here because I've been here for the last 5 months, working, slaving every day to save up money to go. And I love it out there because it's so peaceful and beautiful. No one goes out there. It'll only be 2 boats. And we decided that'd be cool if we set up a tent and camped out there. But it's like, it goes from water to reef and jungle, and there's not much area you could walk around. Except at low tide, you could walk on the reef and check things out.
As with all great escapes, this one is not easy. With the usual plane flights, monotonous transfers on bumpy roads, and long wet sea crossings on some pretty leaky boats. The island they are heading to is absolutely deserted. All the food and water they need, they must bring in themselves. You don't want to get too attached to the chickens. Eating your pets is bad karma. By the second day of the sea leg, the traveling gets a bit tedious, and the need for surf becomes unbearable. Choosing a captain who can put up with strung-out surfers using his fishing ropes for tow cables is an added bonus. This island has become a second home to Timmy, and it is the primary home to some life-threatening waves, as well as some friendly locals living in the dense rainforest.
Finally, when we arrived to the island, it's like, alright, it's time to load up. So we'll put 4 surfboards together, tied with leashes, and stick our tarp, our tent, our chickens. Sometimes we bring goats out there. We'd have to sneak through this little channel and load it on the beach, and sometimes you get caught by waves and everything gets wet. It'll take like 10 trips. It's a good hour of back and forth to the boat, especially with all the water and food.
After a few trips to the region, Timmy and friends, Travis and Brett, have got it pretty wired, lasting up to 3 months at a time on the island. If getting to the island seems difficult, surfing the waves it has to offer is downright dangerous. The island has 2 waves, a right-hander that seems to suck surfers into its own black hole. This surfer was never seen again. And on the other side of the bay, a perfect left-hand barrel that seems to reel down the reef forever. This left is so shallow that despite steaming tropical conditions, the crew wear wetsuits to protect themselves from the sharp coral bottom.
On the right day, I think you get a 50-second barrel. When we paddle out there, we have full suits on, booties, helmet, and sometimes I wear gloves. And if you fall, you're guaranteed to hit the reef because it's only a foot deep. As far as you want to go on the left, you can go. Like you could pull in for 10 seconds and kick out, but then you see the whole wall of water still, and you're like, I'm not kicking out. And you get greedy and go for another 10 seconds. And then you find that spot to kick out again, and you're like, and then bam, you just get slammed so hard on the reef sometimes.
When you've traveled so far and risked so much to get here, hitting the bottom doesn't seem so bad. It's just part of the fun. But being so far from anything resembling civilization begs the question, what do you do when things go seriously wrong?
Most of the time there's fishing boats out there, but a lot of times there's not. So a backup plan would be paddle to a fishing boat and have them take us to mainland, which on one of those fishing boats like an 8-hour ride. And then once we made it to land, we'd have to do a heavy drive, probably like 4 or 5 hours to the nearest hospital. Except one time a boat was out there and one of the guys cut their faces open, and they knew that we were prepared for that. So they grabbed me and I brought out my syringes and stitches and stitched one of the kids up.
After surfing for hours, the pain in your stomach telling you to feed it overpowers your brain, which keeps reminding you that you are surfing empty, perfect waves. With this in mind, the boys gathered their fishing rods, hailed a passing boat, and swapped chocolate bars with the crew for a burn around the bay. The result was fish for as long as they could keep it fresh. One method was instant sushi, while the other was the local leave it in the sun and season it with cigarette ash method. I'm pretty sure this was not on the menu at the Sugar Shack, but Timmy ate it anyways.
Hey, they haven't cooked those yet, huh?
Setting up camp on a tropical island seems exotic, but then the realities of day-to-day life set in, and things like running water and electricity are nothing but distant luxuries. Inviting the neighbors around for lunch is always good. After watching from the trees, this monkey was persuaded by chocolate biscuits, but once he realized the box was empty, he never came back. With angry ants and giant bugs in the jungle, the only place to really hang out is on the thin strip of sand. And there's not much you can do with sand. You can lie on it, you can rub it in your hair, dance on it, and you can bark at it. Things get a little weird. Timmy starts training the chickens to heel. And eventually, the thin line between boredom and madness gets very blurry. But just when you think that the jungle is about to swallow you, a new swell is just the wake-up call you need. A perfect day with just you and your friends.
It's like the right, when you're paddling in, it's like only 2 feet or 3 feet. And then as soon as you drop in, it just starts growing and growing and growing. And by the end, it's 10 feet face solid. And you're just stuck.
Even with the cross-shore wind, this wave draws so much water off the reef that the wave face stays smooth. It may be a foot or two deeper than the left on the other side of the bay, but the lip is thicker and more powerful. It'd be a good place to set up a ding repair shop. Once the travel bug bites, there's no telling when you might recover. If Timmy and his friends are not on some remote island right now, they are surely planning their next trip. These sorts of places can easily become the focus of an obsession. Surfing Magazine recently voted the Turner Brothers most likely to disappear. I think we might have a good idea where to find them.